Hello, how's everybody doing today? Welcome, Gemini, to your monthly forecast. My name is Nicholas Ashbaugh. This little furry guy here is Apollo. I hope you're getting off to a great start today or this evening, depending on when you're watching this. As you know, we always like to look at the next 6 to 8 weeks. Just in case you're brand new, let me tell you what's in store for you today. I like to begin with channeled messages at the very beginning. These are messages that come directly from my guides to you. And then we'll move along to the Celtic Cross afterwards. And in the Celtic Cross, we'll take a look at some more concrete opportunities, whether they're potential for like growth or maybe even some things you want to avoid. So that's the part I know that you're all looking forward to. We'll get into that in just a moment. I always like to expand that afterwards to take a look at health, wealth, love, and destiny so that we can let the Celtic Cross take on whatever shape or form it needs to. I follow that up with a big idea. Then we go a little bit deeper into something great and something that you should avoid in the blessings and the blocks. And then there's some interaction in the midpoint where you can participate and do a poll to pick the topic for the viewer's choice. Save your questions until the end. There's always an opportunity for us to meditate together, and I'll answer a silent question that you focus on. So I don't take questions live, but I will answer questions at the end in that format. All right, with that being said, let's get into today's forecast a little bit. A couple of quick notes before we begin. First and foremost, welcome everybody. If you have any questions, I have a moderator here named Maria Margarita. She can help out. If you would like to support the channel, as she posted this earlier today, the easiest way to do this, especially for longtime viewers who haven't already done so, is to click subscribe. If you've already done it, thank you for doing that. It is free. It doesn't entail anything. I know the word subscribe can be a little confusing, but it's basically just like a follow on another social media platform. Also, you can like a video once per video, so if you want to do that as well before we get started, I would appreciate it. Also, for some extra reminders on social media, please feel free to follow me on Facebook and Instagram and Twitter. I always put a post the day of to remind you of what's going on. I also use story features wherever they're available, just as an extra little reminder to show up and to let you know what's going on. This week I may do an impromptu. Many of you have reminded me that I'm very close to a mini milestone, which is I think I'm close to the 1,000th upload. It should happen this week, so I may do a special impromptu. So turn on your notifications so that you can see that or follow me on social media. And let's see, if you'd also like to show some additional support, completely optional, but it definitely helps. You can do that through SuperChats and SuperStickers. If you happen to be watching on replay, there's a thanks right by the share button, and it works the same way. This helps me buy new decks and do extra videos, so thank you so much for all that have done that. And I already pinned a link here in the comments, but if you'd like to see when I'm next going to be live, you can do that through my website, okay? So without any further delay, let's get into channeled messages. As I said earlier, this comes to me in a few ways. This morning, I received quite a few messages through dreams. What happens is a lot of times I'm sort of looking at, it's almost like watching TV, but I see something happening and I do my best to show up here in the morning and report what I see. So let's get into that. I'm going to pull open my my PowerPoint here on my keynote so you can see everything, and we'll get started. Okay, so we have an interesting spirit totem today. It's the Magnolia. It actually came to me while I was walking. None are in bloom. I just saw it in my head when I was walking the dog. And as I was doing some research on this, the Beetle is a symbiotic sort of like sub-totem of that, so we'll be talking about those. And then the final two pieces came from dreams and from, mostly from dreams this morning. I'm going to talk about the importance of negotiation and asking for help. Also, how important it is to prioritize heart health and the heart chakra. So let's get into the Magnolia first. Some fun facts here with this. I've covered this totem before, but I really wanted to focus on its strength and the way that it attracts pollination, because when I was doing the research, this particular tree and its flower evolved way before bees did. So it was on the planet when there were still dinosaurs here, and bees were not yet available for pollination, so it attracted beetles instead. And as a result, it needed to be a little bit stronger because beetles could tear up other flowers. So it's not a traditional sort of petal. It's almost like they're modified leaves. Very strong. If you've ever touched a magnolia blossom, you'll know this. It feels just like a leaf. Very fragrant, by the way. Amazing fragrance. But we're not focusing so much on the sweetness here. We're focusing on its strength. Now, the sweetness is about sort of like making sure that you're doing what you can to appeal to or attract whatever it is that you're trying to bring into your life. Definitely going the extra mile helps. And this particular symbiotic relationship has served both the Beetle and the Magnolia pretty well if you think it's been around for 95 million years. We should all be so lucky to have this kind of longevity. So one thing that is kind of interesting here, and I didn't really break it into a separate slide, but we can talk about it, is that this is one of the flowers. I have a bunch of cacti that will do the same thing, where they open in the day and then they close at night. This particular closure of the magnolia blossom is a temporary entrapment of that beetle for the express purpose of having it pollinate. So while it's trapped inside the flower, it actually has safety, which is cool. But then it gets to feed on the nectar and it moves around. And basically when it leaves in the morning, it's going to carry with it that extra pollen to the next flower. And so this is a way that the flowers can ensure that they don't self-pollinate, which can kind of create less diversity within them. So it traps the beetle, it gets to feed, and then in the morning it opens up and then it moves on to the next flower. I thought that it's kind of ingenious, the engineering and the technology that a lot of flowers and even like animals and everything on this planet have. There's no quote unquote brain here, but there's a lot of sort of biological engineering through just evolution that happened here, which is amazing. Now, this entrapment is something that's interesting. So you want to be careful of traps in general or getting stuck in something, and that's what I would say. But you could also find something really cool if, when it comes to symbiotic relationships. If you have to work together or if you have to use a certain tool or a certain resource, see if there's a way that you can make the most of it. It's kind of like lemonade, right? So you can kind of cut that both ways there, but that was an interesting kind of footnote. So we've been talking about this symbiotic relationship, and I use that sort of everyday phrase, teamwork makes the dream work. I think in this particular situation, some of you may be coming out of a hermit phase. I mean, all of us were to some degree because of what's been going on for the past 2 years. We're coming upon like 2 years of this pandemic. And it's, we're in a phase now where it's kind of opening up a bit. So it's important to realize there are places where working on your own is important, but this month there are some 10 of Pentacles moments, which is why I featured that card here, where you could tap into hidden resources around you. And later I'm going to talk about some of the importance of if you need help to ask for it, because I feel like some of you might be shy, or if you see someone that needs help to maybe take a look and see if they're interested in it, because together so much more can be accomplished. Now, it's not an accident that the movie from, I can't remember if it was the 80s or 90s, I think it was the 80s, Steel Magnolias. There was a lot of reasons it was named that, because the women were like the Steel Magnolias, really strong. They may look like they are, they're just all focused on the exterior because like the beauty shop and all of that, but they were very strong emotionally. They were hard as nails actually in this movie. In real life, the same thing can happen. You can see someone who makes it look easy, right? Whether male or female, it doesn't matter here. Where I'm featuring the strength card here, but what it's really showing is that there are hidden strengths, and that some people may take for granted how much work someone puts into it, whether it's an athlete, a teacher, an artist. You can make something look easy when in fact there's a lot that goes into it. Don't underestimate someone based on appearances. That was something that I liked about that movie. The men were actually weaker. The women were stronger. And there was a phrase where Sally Field was talking about that when it was a Julia Roberts character dying. And basically she said, the men were supposed to be tough as steels, but it was just her that was there. It was the women that were there. So this is more of a metaphor here, and that's kind of just talking about like the name of the movie. But this could be someone in your life that you just never understood. You never saw the strength, but you're going to see it. It could be inner strength that you have. And it's probably going to go contrary or counter to what was expected. So you may have a moment to sort of shine and to stand out and to really show your true colors this month. If you're ready and willing to do that, it could alter sort of like your trajectory in a really positive way, because people will see that hidden strength. This is an encouragement this month to show the hidden strength, to show these sort of parts of yourself that you've maybe kept just to yourself. if we go into the symbology of the card itself, we see this third paragraph here, like don't let someone push you around, and vice versa. Don't feel like you have to force someone or something to happen. When things can kind of naturally evolve or naturally sort of move into a sort of like perfect resolution, that's the way it should be. But if you're constantly, like we see here, trying to make someone say something, make someone do something, or to kind of orchestrate something from A to Z, it gets really tiring, right? So don't push. Instead, look at stuff where you're seeing that it's easier, there's reciprocity, that there's fulfillment, that this actually feels like it's something that you don't have to force or push. Focus on the solar plexus. Obviously, whenever we see the strength card or we're focusing on power, right here around the belly, that's where we kind of hold on to a lot of energy. And sometimes this comes from parents. The maternal or paternal energy of the strength card can definitely be mom or dad, but it can also be a boss, a sister, or anyone in our life that kind of has this hold on us, or it likes to kind of like make sure that we know that, they're worried about us. And sometimes that worry, that concern can almost undo your own independence. So don't be afraid to kind of stand up to that and just show them that, hey, I can do this. I've got this. One last note on the strength note, or the strength card. Focusing and prioritizing your health overall this month is going to be really important. We'll talk on the final slide about that a little bit more. So this came through in dreams, a heartfelt request. It felt to me like for some of you, there could be this sense of being overwhelmed. The way that it came across specifically as I was focusing on the dream energy was I watched as somebody was taking a test, and the test is more of a metaphor. It doesn't mean that you actually have to be a student. You could be 18 or 88, and this metaphor will still work. But basically, I felt like there was a difficult or a trying time that you were going through, but you were afraid of failing or looking weak, which is why I put the strength card before this one. And as such, you just thought, I'll figure it out. I'll kind of fake it and hope that I make it. I saw that could just exacerbate the situation, that it could delay a resolution, and that you might end up actually not doing what you want to do here. So if you were to ask for help, the other person may be surprised, but they're very open and ready to assist, which is why I put the Two of Cups here. Two of Cups isn't always love. It can be friendship. It can be saying, yeah, let me help you out. I have your back. So in this case, it's a different Two of Cups, which is someone that wants to help and actually feels good helping you. But you have to be ready and willing to put yourself out there and ask. And the reason that this is important is it was a subjective opinion. It wasn't based on hard and cold facts. So I was watching a teacher figuring out if they were going to fail a student, but they were going to give them a second chance, like extra credit or a makeup test or a chance to like just withdraw and then take it again the next semester. There was something going on where there was going to be, I guess, understanding or appreciation for what was going on with you, because we can all have things happening in our life. Maybe it's the loss of someone that you love. Maybe it's emotional stress. Maybe there's something else that you just can't even get into, but you're not fully kind of able to present the best possible face of whatever it is you're doing. This person understands. So in the case of a project, there could be an extension. In the case of a financial sort of issue that you might be having, maybe you could get a loan from somebody, or maybe some forgiveness or extension on repayment. Whatever it is, I saw cooperation and kindness, but you have to appeal to their heart using earnest, honest, heartfelt sort of words. It doesn't have to be perfect. It just has to be real. It just has to be vulnerable. So for those of you going through something, whatever that is, help is there, but it requires vulnerability. Okay? So for the rest of you, there could be someone in your periphery, in the environment around you, that approaches you. So you could either be the sender or the receiver on this. The same is true of a lot of these cards that I'm pulling. So you could be the strong one, or someone else could be the strong one. The symbiotic relationship, again, there may be someone coming to you with a request for help. It doesn't have to be you requesting that. So all of these cards can be seen either way, just depending, because I'm doing a general reading. All right, and I put a little disclaimer at the bottom, which I'll give you. I have to just sort of disclaim it for obvious reasons here, but I'm not a doctor. But I am an intuitive, and I do see things that come through energetically, and my guides oftentimes will give me specific messages. This was the case today. And so again, if you are experiencing anything that's off, talk to a doctor or specialist. But I want to share what I see here anyway. So I was shown the heart in my dreams last night, and specifically they showed me the word triglycerides. So for those of you that have existing issues with the heart, with blood pressure, with whatever, that was one element that was coming out. To even identify that, you would need to talk to a doctor and get a test. But that was highlighted, and it's very specific, and I don't always get a scientific word coming through in dreams, but I was shown the word triglycerides. So focus on eating healthy, being heart healthy. And for me, the card that would come through with this could either be the Three of Swords or the Five of Pentacles. I'm choosing Five of Pentacles here because it is a lot easier to work with, and I think it's more the reason that I was given this today, because Five of Pentacles presents a situation where there's help available, but it's not always taken, or kind of like you're not always listening to the help, right? So we usually see a parent and a child, and we see safety or sanctitude, or a sanctuary in the background, rather. And so for this, I feel like someone's there to give you assistance. Might be a doctor, could be someone in the family that could give you family history if you're going through anything like this. If it's just healing in general, we're talking about the heart, there could be something from the past that needs to be healed so that you can feel good in the future. So we're either looking symbolically at the heart chakra or specifically at some heart issues. Either way, I see that there's movement here. I see that movement in general is important because we talk about moving your body here on the third paragraph. So as long as you're moving towards resolution or trying to find a better way to do something, I feel like you're going to be okay. But you have to want it. And I think that's the key thing here. You have to want help. You have to want to let go. You have to take the first step to allow movement to happen. The heart chakra is one that can feel the most sort of benefits of this movement. So that's what my guides wanted me to talk about. When we go back to the sort of symbiotic relationship here with the beetle and the magnolia, as I put here, the beetle can represent a rebirth or a brand new beginning. So don't be afraid to kind of step into something new, even if it's unfamiliar, even if it's unknown. I feel like you're at a point right now where you're going to thrive. So give yourself a chance to have a fresh start. Okay? So there you go. Again, very specific information. When I get it, I share it. And everything this morning was actually it was easy for me to put the slides together. So it feels like everybody here, you're receiving the messages that you need to receive. So just take note of them and see how it kind of factors out over the next few months here, or next few weeks rather. All right. So if you just joined, perfect timing. We just went through the channel messages. I'm going to take a look now at the Celtic Cross. I'm going to give you a chance to vote today on which deck you'd like me to choose. I'm going to get those set up as we're chatting here. Pick some ones that we haven't used for a while, including some ones that sometimes just don't get chosen. So give me a second to select them, and I'll be right back. Okay. Here we go. So by the way, this portion of the reading can be used for Sun, Rising, Moon, and Venus, any aspect of your chart that you happen to know. You can also watch on behalf of others that you love and care about. Okay, so let's take a look at what I've selected here. We're going to look at St. Croix, Sun and Moon, Afro Goddess, and then the Luna deck. So let me just get the poll set up, and then I'll let you choose which one you'd like me to use today. All right, so let's put this here. St. Croix, Sun and Moon, Afro Goddess, and the Luna deck. Okay, so which deck would you like? All right, I'm putting the poll out right now. I'm gonna basically show you a few cards from each deck so you can see. So this is the St. Croix deck. It actually isn't, it's a derivative of Rider-Waite-Smith, but it definitely has its own take. So love the cards, very different, not your traditional illustrations for a Rider-Waite-Smith. Sun and Moon, also a beautiful deck, and it kind of combines energy of the Thoth deck with Rider-Waite-Smith. Has these really unique illustrations here that kind of set it apart, which I like. Afro Goddess, haven't used it in a while, hasn't won very much lately actually, but I'm putting it here just as an option. Beautiful illustrations, definitely a Rider-Waite-Smith derivative, one of my favorites. And then I think this is one that all of you like quite a bit. This is the Luna deck. It has an iridescent look and feel to it. It's a re-envisioned version of the Ethereal Visions deck, but it has a lot of different cards. Okay, so let's take a look now and see which one is in the lead. It's pretty close, but it looks like the Luna Tarot is in the lead. So I'll give you another moment, and then I'm going to end the poll here. A last chance to vote. Here we go. All right, we're ending the poll. And let's see if the Luna deck won. While you're doing that, I'm going to put back the cards that look like they didn't make it. This is just one of the perks that I like to do for all of you that join live. So let's see. Luna Tarot, yes, 41%. All right, everyone, thank you for choosing. All right, let's get started here and take a look at everything coming through for today. First of all, welcome. Hope you're doing well. So for those saying they missed the Afro Goddess deck, I just I give everyone a chance to vote. For some people, for some reason, people aren't choosing it, but I may just automatically choose it for the next one, or next weekend I may do it on the collective. I just gave it a break because I use it almost nonstop for like 2 months. So you can blame the other people in the room. Everyone gets a chance to vote. So, all right, let's take a look at what's coming through. I agree, it actually looks better on camera. It's one of my favorites because it has darker, richer colors. So I love it, but for some reason, whoever's present today is not voting on it. So let's focus on this. One thing that I've learned is that there's no accidents when we have someone, like everyone choosing, because collectively we'll get the right messages coming through in the cards that were selected. Yeah, there's always an interesting sort of balance here. I like to give folks a chance to vote and just kind of see what's popular as well. So just shake it up. We can't use the same deck every time. I am using the Afro Goddess Oracle deck here, though, for the Destiny card. And one thing that I can do, since it was I think it was a decently close match there, sometimes I'll use it for the additional portions of today, so I can always look at it for blessings and blocks and viewer's choice and big idea and things like that. So I'll do that perhaps. We got a volunteer here, and then let's look at the next one. And I'm with Andre on this one. It's good to have variety. Variety is the spice of life. And I'm actually trying to get some new decks. I bought a couple of new ones. I didn't feature them here today. This one, I have the Brady Tarot, which I love, but it is very hard to read with because they made so many changes on it. So it's great, but I use it more sort of like just as an extra card here and there. I just used the Star Seekers on the weekend, so I didn't use that today. And then I have another one that is kind of too black and white for the camera. So anyway, I'm always switching it up, so just keep an eye. I have some really old ones that I haven't used in a while too, so I'll try to pull those into rotation as well. Okay, back to the reading, everyone. Let's get into the volunteer cards. So we have Eros, which is basically Cupid, and we have this beautiful diamond at the center. So kind of like what I was showing you with the slide of like being able to have a heartfelt request. Love and unconditional love and support can come in an unexpected way, and it's not always I love you. It's more like I want to love and support you as a friend, as a family member, as whatever. And basically the clarity and the sort of like the strength of that relationship is sometimes more important than the love relationships that you have. Chosen family, and then just people in your life, mentors that are there for you when you really, really need it. Few and far between. It's really hard to find that kind of energy and that kind of connection in your life. You may only have, you could count on one hand, the amount of people that you can truly lean on. So if you have someone like that, this card is really saying, spend a little bit of extra time and energy with that person, continue to strengthen those bonds, and see where that takes you. And maybe that person needs your help, or maybe they can help you in a way that was unexpected as well. And then we have the Village here, which is a reminder of, really, we've got some nice mirrors of the sort of messages that I had earlier, which is kind of like the 10 of Pentacles, 8 of Wands, 3 of Cups, 10 of Cups energy, group energy here to assist you. It takes a village, right? Whether you're trying to bring something into, like birth something or bring something into creation, or whether you just need some support through something challenging. So we have the support here with the Eros card, and then we have the Village. Also, for those of you looking for love, what we could see here is that if you go to a special event, a party, etc., there could be a meeting of the minds. You could meet a new friend. You could meet someone that you really, really connect with. Either way you cut it, this is going to be a good thing for you. We see love and we see support coming through for you this month. So the only question for you is, are you ready to receive it? Because if you are Gemini, then I think some really great things could transpire. But if you have that Hermit energy that I was talking about a little bit ago, you may miss out on something. So the encouragement here is to give it a go and see where it takes you. All right, let's move into your center card here. We have the Knight of Swords in reverse. Let's pull this card close to the camera so we can see it. So as this comes into focus here, we see the ability to sort of speak your mind. But the interesting thing whenever I have a Knight card in reverse is it shows me that action, reaction, or communication could just be a little bit off, a little bit quicker or slower than you expect. So for you this month, the opportunity is in your ability to just be at ease with surprise. Surprise, this is happening now. Surprise, you're actually, maybe even you have to do it like yesterday, it feels like. So catching up to something that's already started for some of you, or trying to push against this stagnation that's happened because you've waited longer than you should have. And now it's sort of like, how do I get started? So just take the first step and just take it one moment at a time. You want to avoid feeling overwhelmed or succumbing to that energy of, oh my God. All that we need to do is to kind of like work hard. We have the 9 of Wands right on top of that. He looks a little bit forlorn on that. And we see the bandage on the head. So the bandage on the head can, of course, it can show that you've just kind of like been through it. Symbolically speaking, it can just sort of feel like, been through the blender a little bit and I'm ready to recover here. But it can also be a headache. It can be you stressing in a way that would kind of potentially lead to the 9 of Swords. So you don't have to go there, because the two cards together show me the capability to really do things with aplomb here. So with ease, with a professional sort of flair. So just take the first step and work hard, keep pushing, and trust that you're going to be okay. This card also indicates that you have the ability to finish. You just have to sort of not lose motivation and not focus too much on that sort of fear that this is the only way to do it, or if I don't do this now, everything's going to kind of fall apart. Just keep your cool, keep doing it one day at a time, and don't give up, basically is what I would say with this, don't give up, okay? If there's anyone in your life that's pushy, the 9 of Wands can show that energy too. So definitely be aware of that and try to use that inner strength that we saw in the strength message that I pulled with the channel messages earlier. What can you do this month, and what have you been doing historically to kind of set you up for success? Keeping an open mind, in short. As we look at the deep past, we have the Page of Swords in reverse. Page of Swords also is about speaking your mind. So I would say what we're looking at here is actually two pretty evenly matched people. The Page and the Knight I like. King and Queen are great, or Queen and Knight. We're pretty close here with the Page and the Knight. So for many of you, it may just be a matter of not cutting the other person off, because two reversed sword cards can just be about, always thinking of the next thing but not necessarily listening. So make sure that you are just present and listen, and then wait an extra half stop and then say, all right, I have something to add. Thank you for that. I heard what you said about this. One really good thing that you can show that you're listening is you can say what you heard. You can check back to make sure that you heard it correctly, and then add something, and then say, now I have some stuff to talk about. And then if someone tries to interrupt, you can actually say, I let you finish, so let me finish. And then you can just kind of firmly kind of hold your space. And I think back to like teachers and bosses that did that in my life, or parents, and they would just say, no, it's my turn now, and let me finish. Please extend me the same courtesy I extended you. It kind of makes it hard for you not to at that point. If you're in the receiving end, you're like, yeah, okay, I'll let you finish. And then you can also just make sure that if there's anything that you need to negotiate, that you stand firm to that. So I see two frank engagements here, two frank people, very direct. So that's going to be the challenge, is not cross-firing or over-talking. So if you can do that in a negotiation or just even a day-to-day conversation, then things are going to be okay. All right. So strong wills, strong ideas, strong minds, but a lot of conversation that could be getting in the way. All right. We have 6 of Wands in the recent past, which tells me that you're poised for additional success here. But there could be peer pressure coming through. This desire to want to meet everyone else's expectation. So when we reverse the 6 of Swords, it's about doing what's right, not what's popular. And it's about trusting that as you sort of grow as a person and grow in whatever it is that you're doing in your station in life, there's a natural sort of attrition, I guess is the best word, but there's a fall off of things. And the people that remain afterwards are the steel magnolias there that are going to be there through thick and thin, to kind of use our metaphor that came through today in the totem. So it's okay. It's not about who you lose. It's about who sticks around through thick and thin. And you are going to have some people stick around. And I do feel like you're on the right path here for success. Just don't play to the masses. Just don't dilute the vision in order to achieve something that's not authentic. Don't be afraid of optics. That's another thing that can come through here with this card here. And it's in the past, so it does feel like it's something that you're overcoming. When we look across the sort of spread here, we have the 10 of Cups, which is saying you have a lot of help. And I'll look at the crowning card in a second, but what we were talking about earlier is the fear that if I speak up or if I act out or if I do something that somehow shows that I'm not as strong as they thought, or that I'm, whatever it is that's kind of going on in the ego, then you're going to miss out on the help that's coming through with the 10 of Cups. Don't be afraid. It's actually a relief. Here's what I found sometimes too with friends is if you open up and say, wow, it's been really challenging. I've been working through this and this, and all of a sudden then they let you in and say, you know what, I've been having a rough month too. This is what's been going on. Or I went through a similar sort of thing. Do you want some advice? There are people that are every day going through something just like you, but they're just like you. They're afraid to say it. So the strength is often in getting it out. So if we go back to one of my cards here that I was basically showing us here in the channeled messages, strength is sometimes about how can I just let that get out of my mind, my body, my person. Sometimes you need help. You need a therapist, which we see potentially here. It's someone that's giving you the space to sort of do it. I don't always see the strength card that way, but in this particular situation, I see it as that. If you can just get it out, then it's going to feel a lot better. And I see really kind energy coming through this month with the 10 of Cups. We also have a very similar energy here in the Destiny card with the ring. Someone who is very open to receiving, accepting, and supporting whatever it is that you want or whatever it is that you need. Okay? Let's go to the crowning position. Page of Pentacles. Page of Pentacles is great. This is a really good card to have in your crowning position, in your head. Basically right here, crowning everything that we see here. So what does this mean to you? It means that there's one thing this month that you could really see a return on energetically if you decide to invest in it. The way that I believe all the Pentacles cards are in this deck is you'll see differing amounts of growth in the fields behind them. So this one we see something that's just going to get planted. As we go up to Knight, King, and Queen, or Queen and King rather, I think you start to see harvest eventually, etc. So you're at the genesis or the birth or the beginnings of a new phase. And all you need to do is to continue to nurture that, just like a mother or father would. Plant the seed, watch it grow, and be willing to receive feedback on this, because pages are not just sort of like communicating. They also have to listen. They're the in-between. It can be like an errand sort of person. They have to go between point A and point B, and they have to keep the integrity of the lesson, or the message rather. So for you, you have to keep the integrity of your idea, and you're going to be taking in different feedback, different types of skills, making sure that you're mixing it together. It's almost like a chef. That's the metaphor that I'm being shown. You have to follow instructions, though, when you're cooking. And once you know how to do it, then you know where you can deviate. And I think that'll be the big challenge this month for you, Gemini, is knowing when to listen, when to step in and put your own input in, and how to kind of like straddle that throughout the month. There's going to be a little bit of give and take. But you have to at least learn it and try it, and then you can start to kind of put your own spin on it. All right, so we have the Ten of Cups card here. Ten of Cups is in reverse. So for some of you, there could just be a lot of expectation coming from your parents, from your siblings, from your cousins, from your community. It's usually not coworkers with the Ten of Cups, but it's the people that you love and care about the most. And feel free to say no to some of these requests. Also, feel free to let them know that you need some help too, because what could be happening for some of you is you're just playing the anchor to everyone in their lives. And at a certain point, it's sort of like you feel like you need that support too. So that's why I'm saying don't be afraid this month to ask for help if you need it, okay? But love, support, relationship opportunities abounding as well. I definitely like that we've got the Ten of Cups for you, okay? We'll talk about it more when I look at love in a few moments, but for now, I would just say if you are looking for love, I see some good stuff coming through, actually. You're busy this month, but I definitely see the potential for new love to come into your life. The rest of us are just dealing with family, and we'll, again, deal with that a little bit more when I look at love and relationships. All right, let's move along to what's coming through for you, your heart, your soul, your ego this month. I feel like Temperance has been visiting us frequently in all of the cards. It came through a few times on the weekend. I feel like I've seen it in the past couple of readings as well. So as we're looking at the energy of April, which is really what we're focusing on, the ability to kind of step into something new. If we even take it doesn't matter if you celebrate Easter or not, but there's sort of like this renewal energy with spring. Let's look at spring. So with springtime or fall, for those in the southern hemisphere, we're looking at a change of season. We're looking at a shift, and there's birth, there's death, rebirth, reinvention that kind of comes through with this. So it takes time and it takes patience, and really that's what's necessary, is to not try to rush through to that final chapter. Give it time and do it right the first time, and that's really what the Angel of Temperance is telling us here. And you're going to see growth, and you're going to be fine. Just take the first step and take it one day at a time, one moment at a time if you need to. It's going to be okay. But patience is hard, right? I think of the kids in the back seat asking, "Are we there yet, Mom?" You know, or your boss at work, "Are you done yet?" Or, you know, even you're looking at something in your life and you're thinking, why am I not at the finish line? The good news is, as we look at what's crossing the center, again, with the Nine of Wands, you're pretty darn close. You just want to be patient, be persistent, be careful, and just really complete it the way that it needs to be completed, okay? All right, so let's look at what's going on in the environment. We have the Hierophant in reverse. I love this card, and in this particular deck especially, because it shows me that you are the source, you are the guide, you are the one you're looking for. It's interesting because someone right now is asking a question about someone else, and almost, you know, like cooperating with this, it's like focus on you. And by the way, if you have any questions, hold them until the end. I will have a chance to kind of help you with a silent meditation. And that point, we can actually look at the questions you have. I don't answer when I'm doing a live. But with the Hierophant in reverse, notice how we have an empty stage here and we have a star coming in. You are the star. You are the one that you're kind of looking for. The completion is not in someone else. And also, you're supposed to be kind of going counter to the expectation. So to me, the Hierophant is typically someone who likes structure, who likes order. It can symbolize a father figure in your life as well, or a boss. Someone that you're putting a lot of energy and power, or giving a lot of power to. So this is saying, if someone stepped out, a boss, a loved one, a parent, they stepped out so you could see your power. Stop focusing on them, start focusing on you. And if you need to go counter to expectations, let's say it's at work, what you have to look at is the establishment open enough to see me for the ideas and the skills and the sort of energy that I have? If not, it's almost like we've talked about bonsai trees before. I don't love the sort of way I don't like the energy around them, because you prune the roots, you prune the trees, you keep it small. Something wants to be big, you make it small. So I think some of you are like the bonsai energy, and this month you need a bigger stage or a bigger pot to grow. And what we see here is that open stage presenting itself. So if you've been asked to leave, let's say like it is a job and you've been let go, or you left on your own volition, you're doing that so that you can open up a place to a place where you can grow more. If someone's stepping out of your life, they've stepped out so that you can be the star. So the star energy is actually a part of this very unique Hierophant. And the figure is missing there because it's you that's supposed to be stepping into this. So that's my answer to the sort of like question of why am I missing someone or something? It's because you're kind of the one that's going to step up to the stage. Okay. So that's the important thing. So I actually think that for you, if you're ready and you're willing to be yourself, truly be yourself, you'll shine, and it will really feel, it'll feel kind of like you'll be emboldened by this. It'll be like, oh my gosh, I can do this. This feels great. Work is a great place to put your energy. Whatever you decide to start, I see a return on that investment and a completion. This is a good card for training, for editing, going back and revising something, for construction, for learning, for any sort of expansion. It's not just going to school. It's saying, I'm going to roll up my sleeves and I'm going to get busy. And when you get busy with whatever that task is at hand, you see absolute return on that investment and growth. This also connects with the lesson that I was talking about. So for some of you, the karmic lesson is ready to be released. The only thing that's holding you back is maybe saying, hey, what do you think? Or I could use some help, or I'm feeling overwhelmed. When you reach out, then you get that support that's just been waiting. This could also be people that want to come into your life, but you're pushing them back. So you kind of have to see that some of you want to see that you can do it on your own. There may be fierce independence, right? But the good news for you is no matter what, I see completion or an end of a phase. I see that you're going to get a lot of work done. It's going to be a very productive month for you. And the main sort of challenge for you, and this is a very Gemini card to come up, is how do I focus on something? Because we have the Seven of Cups. One of the cool things about Gemini is that you can see things from so many different perspectives, right? You're air. And you really have the ability to be expansive and go even further out there than some of the other air signs. The challenge is sometimes pulling yourself back down and saying, all right, this is the one thing that I'm going to focus on. All of those things are shiny, but I'm going to take this one thing and really polish it, the diamond in the rough, right? So if you can do that, you'll see great things. Very interesting here. I wasn't looking at it until now. The diamond is right over top of the person's mouth, like right in the teeth. So as an air sign, your power absolutely comes in your ability to communicate. And when we look at the cards right now, you had two communication cards, one in the center, one in the deep past. So this month, when you're ready and willing to sort of like step into whatever it is that's presenting itself here for you and say, this is what I choose, this is what I want, I'm ready for it now, then bam, the universe starts to deliver. And again, there could be someone already in the sort of like in your periphery, in your friends, in your family circle that is saying, yeah, I've been waiting for you to ask. Let's do this. Let's do it together. New job, new commitment, new opportunity, something exciting is on the horizon. But it requires clarity and also a request or a commitment from your perspective. So you have to ground yourself a little bit, get out of the clouds and say, this is it, I'm going to do it. But it's good to be in the clouds first. So I'm encouraging you to be very Gemini and to explore. But when you see that shiny thing, I want you then to say, all right, I'll have time for all this other stuff later. I'm going to take this and I'm really going to work on this one thing this month and see some movement on that. Okay? So really great and very, like I said, a very Gemini specific message. Lean into your strengths, seeing things from angles that no one else could. Find that out-of-the-box solution here, and then surprise people. And they're going to be surprised both at the fact that you landed on it and that you're also very passionate about it. So when you get decisive, something that, again, may be more in the other air signs, you may see it more with Aquarius or Libra, Libra can think a long time too, but when they land on something, it's like, yes. Aquarius can get there a lot faster. But with you, because you kind of had this ability to go farther than the other signs, you're going to be able to bring back something really unique. But you have to find that, you have to believe in it, you have to own it. And this could be the challenge for you. Not getting other people to say that it's the right thing, just trusting yourself. If you can do that, this will be a big soul sort of achievement and pedestal that you can kind of get on. So I hope you can. All right, let's move on to the next portion of the reading. We're going to move on to the expanded forecast where we look at a little bit deeper at the areas of health, wealth, love, and destiny. Let me take a quick drink and we'll do just that. All right, we're going to begin with your health card. All right, this is kind of what we were just talking about. So I think one of the things that some of you may need is some time to clear your head, all right? Because the Nine of Wands is something that it symbolizes someone that's worked probably too hard, possibly burned the candle at both ends, and you're just feeling a little bit forlorn. So getting out of your current environment is so important. Taking a walk, weather permitting, changing from one office or building to another if it's inclement weather. Also just kind of changing the mental channel, because we see this lovely sort of halo or nimbus around the head, and it's saying, if I can just shift perspective for a little bit, if I can just let this get out of my head, I'm going to be able to really focus, which is this is sort of the big so what already is like, how can you focus? So my encouragement for you is to get into a different environment, whatever that means for you, to talk to someone if you need to. And it might be good to there's different ways that people can support you. Someone can come in and give you advice. Someone can also just listen to you. You could do this on your own through writing it down in a journal, a diary, or in a Word document, I don't care, or just talking it out loud. Sometimes I have a chat with Apollo in the background. He's a very good listener, and he just kind of rolls onto his back and he's like, okay, sounds good. Find someone, somewhere, something in your life that can listen, get it out of your head, and this is going to give you a chance to sort of like make sense of it. When I make all of the slides here before I get started, I have to kind of read it out loud and make sure that it makes sense. So the same sort of thing that you would do if you were, same thing when I was writing my book, I would have the computer read it back to me so I could hear how another person would listen to it. Because how it sounds in here, even if you're reading it, you're going to miss stuff sometimes. So do something like that to clear your head and to get the words out there. Once you start to get them out of your mouth, again, kind of going back to what we saw with the strength card, wrong one. Now you're just seeing the screen here. Let me go back into this one. Where is it? We'll go back into here we are, keynote. So if we look at this one, what I was trying to say is like getting it out of your mouth is the important thing. So if you can do that, that's going to be essential to just really stepping into something powerful. So I hope you can. All right. Okay. Back into additional health messages that could be coming through for you. So let's take a look at what's coming through in the cards here. Concentration. Some of you may be having just a hard time focusing on what's going on, right? So if you have a lot that you're dealing with right now, organization can help you, and this is where there's a resistance to organization. This is kind of funny. So as we're looking at the Hierophant reverse, this is saying, I don't want to organize, but this is saying, if I don't organize, I'm getting a little confused. So the cards here are getting real with you when it comes to health and just things in your life. Like a little bit of organization can go a long way, and it can reduce the stress that you're feeling. So get organized, and that'll help with this. For some of you, there could be things going on with headaches or migraines. Standard disclaimer always applies when I'm looking at health cards. I want you to ask for help if you need it, so definitely do that. But with respect to this, it could just be stress, it could be something more, so pay attention to what's going on in your head. The rest of the cards look pretty good, I have to say. I'm not seeing major health issues presenting themselves outside of what I brought up in the channel messages earlier, which was talking about focusing on the heart chakra. For some of you, really getting granular and speaking with your health professional if there's something going on with your blood work, because that was something that I saw that could be beneficial, specifically for those of you that have a history of difficulties with blood pressure, blood sugar, or heart. So be that as it may, the main thing for you, I think, this month is really saying, what do I want to do? Where do I want to put my energy on? And also giving yourself a chance to try something different. We see someone here kind of like in the soul changing room saying, what if I were to try on this persona instead? So give yourself a chance to do something before you stress out about what's going to happen. We all need that chance for like play that we get when we're a kid. So this is your chance to have a little bit of fun and trust that it's all going to work out just fine. Okay? All right. So let's move on to your next card here. We're going to look at your wealth card, and we have perseverance. And it says, I know that I can do whatever I set my mind to. Amen to that. And not only that, but when we were looking at your opportunities card here, we see a definite return on your energy right now, which is great. So don't be afraid to put a little bit extra into things to make sure that you really have, you're giving 100%, okay? Because if you do that, you're going to see a return on this. Also, the work in and of itself should feel like there should be something fun with this. So I think if we're to put this together and make a nice little suggestion here for you, I would say surround yourself with people that make work fun. Do something that really appeals to your brain, your heart, all of that. And then don't be afraid to try something new. I think if you can do that this month, the hard work, taking on a different sort of persona, trying something from a different point of view, it's going to basically pay off here because we have the Page of Pentacles in the crowning position. So it looks like a good month with respect to work. Let's look at it from a few different perspectives. If you're already in a job right now, like I said, this sort of cross communication, talking over someone is probably the most challenging thing. It looks like also fitting into the group could be difficult because they could either be very much kind of like focusing on the loudest voice in the room, or there could be a little bit of a click going on. So remember, you have a chance to show your true colors and maybe even show them like, hey, I've always been here. You've just taken me for granted. So I think you're going to step out and you're going to surprise them. You're going to surprise yourself. So for those of you that are already in a job, great productivity and a chance to do something unusual and have that set you apart. Looks good. If you're looking for work, I do think that it's a pretty competitive environment right now. It's all about who you know. And just like I was talking about the negotiation, about talking to someone and it was more subjective than objective, then the same thing's going to happen when it comes to job seeking. Subjectively, if you can just sort of like connect with them in the heart space, like if the two of you have a similar interest, a similar hobby, that's what's going to get you the job, not necessarily just your skills. People are going to look beyond the obvious. So don't be afraid to try to kind of like strike a chord with somebody. It's not just about the facts. And if you're too nervous and you're swallowing your words, then you're getting in the way of who you naturally are. So just figure, I'm going to be the best version of myself, but it's going to be me. And if it's going to work, it's going to work. And if it's not, it's just like a date. You'll know by date 2 or 3, like you can't fake it. People are going to see your true colors. So just be yourself and be at ease, okay? And for everybody else this month, I think like for those of you that might be retired or between jobs, really the question is, what is it that you're looking for in life? No pressure there, right? What's the big so what? Because again, the universe wants to show up for you, but it requires a little bit of focus from your perspective, okay? All right, so overall looking pretty good with respect to business. Let me see if there's anything to be cognizant of. Just patience because of the temperance angel that we saw. Things take time to come to fruition. So give yourself the time necessary to see that happen. And then also, if you have entrepreneurial sort of energy, the Hierophant card definitely supports you stepping in and doing your own thing. All right, moving on to love and relationships. We have the Nightingale spirit here. It says, love is all around. I'll let you see the card really close, and then we'll take a look at the different sort of applications of this card. So first of all, back to using your voice, back to the diamond right around the lips there. Your ability to say something sets something else in action. The sweeter the request, I'm not asking you to sugarcoat, but I am encouraging you to sort of think about how it would be from the recipient's point of view. Trying to use the language and use the timing that's kind of optimal will help you here. And what someone else may not like could be music to someone else's ears. So sing a song and make sure that it's your authentic song. Your voice, your vision, whatever it is that you're doing has to be you. Absolutely. And I think that's key. It's so funny last night. I was on TikTok and there was a comedian that was Gemini. So I'm like, how did TikTok know that I was going to be doing Gemini today? But what I liked about her was that, again, she was very authentic and very just herself. And I think that that's the perfect advice to come through for everybody today in all relationships. Just have some fun with it. Have some fun with what's going on. And that authenticity is going to come across in a nice way. Let's break it down to those of you in relationships, looking for relationships, or single and happy. All right, so looking at the cards. We talked about the same energy goes to those of you that are in work and also in relationships. Communication seems like it's okay, but again, everybody wants to talk. So I think managing who's got the microphone basically is going to be key. And it may almost be like that. You almost need to hold something and say, I need to finish, and then you hand it to the other person. It's a little obvious, it's a little on the nose, but that's kind of what we're talking about here, is making sure that everyone gets equal speaking time. There's some exhaustion and fatigue going on, maybe not just at work, but in the relationship itself. Remember what we talked about with the strength card. There's always work in a relationship, but it shouldn't feel like it's a job. There should be an exchange, give and take. So I think that's the key thing here, is to take a little bit of a reprieve if you need to, get some time and space apart if you need to. And this doesn't have to be serious. This could just be like, I'm gonna go get a coffee. I'm gonna go take a walk, a hike. Get that little bit of you time and get your perspective. Read a book, whatever it is that you need to do. You're gonna be happier after you get that clarity and you're able to kind of come back and talk to your partner. I do think that extended family, so aunts, uncles, grandparents, parents, and especially in-laws could be playing a major role. One important thing here to remember, especially if it is an in-law and you are the other partner, you can't make everybody happy. We want to sometimes, it's just not going to work. So give yourself a chance to just sort of realize that there are some people out there that just have unrealistic expectations. So don't be too hard on yourself if you're getting pushback, especially from a matriarch or patriarch of the family. It could be a little challenging. I think that work, interestingly enough, it feels like one of you is really working hard to finish something. So could be finishing up a project or a degree. You could be working really hard on the relationship, but it feels more like it's external. So finding a way to come back together will be the key challenge, okay? And if you're asking about your other person and if they're thinking about you, yes, the Seven of Cups shows me that. And so the question here is just sort of like, how can you both be at the same place at the same time and sort of like get back on the same page mentally? All right, for those of you that are looking for love this month, well, first of all, it looks like you're in the limelight a little bit. This is good for you. So whether it's recognition or you're deciding to go to a special event or whatever, this is good. I talked about that way at the beginning here with the Six of Wands and the Ten of Cups coming together saying, look at who I met, or someone recognizes your strength or something like that at one of those events. So say yes, RSVP yes to an invitation. There could be earth energy coming into your life as well. It looks like the person that you could be meeting if you're starting a new relationship is keen on something long-term, which is a good thing. The big thing here is, again, do you know what you're looking for? And are you focused enough on this right now, or are you more focused on work? So I see a lack of focus, and I see for some of you maybe getting what you wanted and being surprised now because you've been wishing for this, and all of a sudden you find someone relationship oriented. It could also be about not putting so much focus on the very first date on talking just about relationship or children or etc. Give it a chance. Give a chance to just see, like, do I even like this person before we go there? And then you can bring it up a little bit later. So easy does it with all of that. If you're single, happy, retired, or just not interested in relationships at all, you have a lot of public-facing energy coming through. So whether we'll take relationships out of the sort of fold here, what I see is the ability to be successful, to shine. We have a hidden star here. We have the 10 of Cups, and we have the 6 of Wands. So success, love and support, recognition. And then I also see success when it comes to starting what you finished. A little bit of fatigue for you, but overall pretty good. So it's a great month, and you definitely have people power, whether or not you want to use that in a relationship or not. People want to kind of show up for you. So even if you're single, I think socializing is going to be really important, and it's going to open up doors. So I encourage that. Okay, let's move on to your destiny card. We have the Ring card. It was reversed. It's still a great message to come through. So we see here an offer, an offering. The question for you is it good enough for you? Is the timing right? Were you ready for it? Or are you needing a little bit more time? So know what you want. Spend some time figuring out how you feel about what's being presented to you. Make sure that you are an equal party in the offering, whatever this is. If it's a contract, make sure that you like the details of the contract. And if not, hammer out a detailed contract that works for you better. Renegotiate. This is definitely a good card for negotiation, as are the 2 Swords card that we saw like in the center in the deep past. So you have the skills to negotiate this month, do it. If you're getting married, this could be a prenuptial. If you're signing a long-term contract at work, there could be an escape clause. There could be all kinds of things that you want to look at. Sweeten it a little bit if you're on the fence, okay? But don't do it if you don't want to. That's the main thing with the Ring card in reverse. It should feel good. It should be easy. There's always going to be some butterflies when you commit to something, but there should be some excitement, and it should it should be more than that, more than the sort of fear or anxiety around it. Okay, so there you go. Let's go ahead now and take a look at the big idea. The big idea is an overarching card that can bring forth for you advice. It's kind of like your North Star. So I'm just going to keep using the same deck because I like what Andre said, which is like we need some change. So we'll keep using the one that won here, and we're going to look at the big idea and see what's going on here. All right, so we have Queen of Pentacles energy, and it is reversed. So take care of yourself. It's okay to take care of yourself, Gemini. So whenever I look at this as a card for the person that I'm reading, I would say it's permission and encouragement to take care of your body, your health, your house, your money, because she rules all of those things. And also to prioritize maybe even your child, because she's also a maternal card, second only to the Empress, possibly. So what's your figurative baby? What is it that you're putting your time and your energy into that we saw coming through here in the Page of Pentacles? Whether that's you working on yourself or you focusing on something that you want to see brought into fruition, please make that like the centerpiece of this month ahead for you. You could also be dealing with a tricky personality. So when this is a figure in your life, we love the Queen of Pentacles upright. We don't love her as much in reverse because it can be someone that is solely focusing on their own needs. Sometimes they're just distracted, and it's not a selfish thing. It's more just like, hey, I've got a lot going on in my life. I can't manage right now. So give someone like that space and don't think too much of it. We all go through moments where we need to focus on self-preservation or whatever it is that we need to do. But if there's someone who consistently takes and doesn't give, this is your month to say, I need a little bit more on that, and I'm going to step away and I'm going to focus on something better. And I was talking to a family member last night. It doesn't always have to be a big argument or thing. It could just be pulling back. So it's okay. You can do nothing. Doing nothing is doing something. It's going to bring about 4 of Swords energy, which is a slow and kind of like steady fading out of the connection. And it eventually leads to like 6 of Swords moving on. It's not always the cleanest way, but we each kind of have to take our own path. Focus on you. You do whatever you need to do to be happy, to be healthy and self-sufficient, okay? Good card, good message. All right, let's move on to what's coming next. So if you just joined, we've been through the channeled messages, the Celtic Cross, the expanded forecast, and we just talked about the big idea. Now we're going to move along to something I love because there's always something good with this, the blessings and the blocks. So the blessing or blessings is going to be something that we can really embrace. It should be something that's good, even if it doesn't seem like it. It can be a blessing in disguise. And the block is something that you can overcome. It's not something to be feared. So let's take a look at the cards. I like to pull them both at once, and then we'll take a look and see what's going on. So by the way, I saw somebody commenting about the video and audio, so I'm just asking those in the live chat if there was any issues. I didn't see it. I have a monitor on the side, so I didn't see it, but let me know if anyone is having any issues with connectivity. And while you're doing that, I'm going to pull the blessing and the block. The blessing is fate, and the block is the Nine of Swords. So let's talk about these two. All right, so fate. This is a beautiful card that is unique to this deck. So what is it, 22? Thank you, Maria, for confirming. I figured, by the way, if you're ever having issues with it, before you report it, just do a refresh. A lot of times it's just your own kind of like internet connection. So thank you. All right, so back to the reading. We're looking at your blessing right now. We have the Fate card. So things are happening exactly as they should be. And what we see with this, if we look really close, is it's almost like stars within that skeleton. So it's death, it's rebirth, it's something new. And it's really just a question for you if you are open to kind of go with the change that's in front of you. What happens sometimes when we're facing a possible change or an opportunity in our lives is we cling on like the Four of Pentacles for fear of loss. If I let go of this, what could possibly be coming through instead? Is this it? Is this as good as it gets? Only if you let it be. So I think the best is yet to come, and that could be your mantra right now. Imagine right now that everything is working precisely as it should, in the way and the time and the form that it should, and that the best is yet to come. And that's the message here. If you've lost something or had to step away from something, it's because you need to make space for something. So these two cards work in tandem. Fate comes in and says, I have a vision for you. Let me see if you're ready to receive the vision. So all we're really missing is some cups cards here, like an Ace of Cups, to sort of say, yes, I'm ready. What can hold you back? Fear. Fear of the worst possible outcome, but not necessarily something that's actually going to happen. So we see all these ghosts and goblins and figures in the background, but if we were to see her in her bedroom, there'd be nothing there. Those are figments of fear or imagination. So it's natural and even on some levels okay to plan for a worst case scenario. It's not healthy, however, to obsess or fixate on potential negative outcomes. So as you move through unknown or uncomfortable changes in your life, trust that there is help, there is support, and that you're going to be okay. Insomnia, a lack of proper self-care, not getting enough sleep, not eating properly could also be leading to those Nine of Swords moments. So make sure that you are taking proper care of yourself. I need a certain amount of sleep in order to function. I can't burn the candle at both ends. The older you get, the more you realize that. It's just, you almost feel like you're hungover if you don't get enough sleep. So some of you may need a vacation, a sick day, or you might need to just talk to someone and say, I need to take some time off. Take care of yourself. I think that's the most important thing that we're seeing with this. I'm very much heartened by the Fate card. I can't wait to sort of see where it leads you next, okay? In fact, I may look at that in the reader's choice, which we'll be getting to in just a moment here. So that's a nice segue. The next portion of the reading is going to be a viewer's and reader's choice. So we'll start with putting a question out there for all of you that are watching live so that you can vote on it. And then we'll move into something that I'm curious about, and I really want to look at the fate, want to look at the opportunity for you. Okay, so let me grab my keyboard, and then let's get ready here for a vote to come up here. So, all right, looking at the cards, let's see what's going on here. Okay, so some things that I am curious about. I want to help you with respect to being focused here because we have the Seven of Cups. So how can you stay focused? All right. The next thing that I'm looking at here is not feeling like you have to sort of succumb to optics or peer pressure. So not worrying about others. I'm going to put peers. Okay, well, I'll just put others' opinion. Others' opinions. Okay. And then focusing here on the energy of opportunity here for like what you can work on here. Where can you see the most return? Where can I be most productive? All right. There you go. So here are the options for you to vote on. While you're voting on those, I'd like to take a look at this really fascinating energy coming through with the Fate card. So what is it that the universe wants to open up to you? And what can you do to kind of like welcome this in? Ask and you shall receive. So I said all that's missing is an Ace of Cups card. Lo and behold, we got the Ace of Cups coming through for you. So for many of you, this could be what you were looking for. It doesn't have to just be love, right? The Ace of Cups can be that dream that you've been holding on to and saying, I really want to achieve this. Can it happen? We see something moving in the right direction here. This could be love presenting itself to you. It could be friendship. It could be, again, some other form of opportunity. We have that Rider-Waite-Smith hand presenting something, and we have the cup. The question is, are you open or are you closed? So where's your sort of cup facing? I like to imagine that the cups are like satellites. And so when we're not ready to receive, we can't get the signal. It's not just about filling it up with, water or wine. It's also sort of like, can I get the download? So this month, Fate is opening you up to something that you would like, that you want. Focus on putting energy toward that and think to yourself, I know I can do this. I really want it, and I'm really ready to receive it. So I don't need it, but I'd like it. You can kind of make sure that you don't get too kind of like attached to it, but just sort of say, I'm really open to this, and I'm open to receiving love, abundance, and opportunity in the highest forms. Bring it on. Whenever I see a lily or a lotus, I like to remind you that everything that you've done, all the sort of murky and uncertain things have actually brought you to this moment. So those difficult moments in the Nine of Wands have prepared you for this. You have to go through the mud to have that flower blooming. So yeah, the best is yet to come. That's really what I see with this. It could be love, friendship, or something that really, really makes you happy, something that fulfills a heart's desire. So focus on that. All right, let's take a look and see what's winning in the poll here. So we have a clear winner. It's what can I do or what can you do to be most productive? So let's take a look and see what the answer is to that. What is the return on the Eight of Pentacles? So the card that inspired me to ask that question was this, where we see someone getting busy and getting a lot done, working hard, studying hard, developing their own skills, etc. So what can you do to get out of your way and to really be productive? Wow. So we have the Nine of Pentacles card here. What's interesting about this is we see the grapes on the vine sort of being ready for harvest. Same sort of metaphor that would come through with grapes as everything else, which is patience and time. It takes a while for those vines to grow, for those grapes to mature, for everything to sort of be set up. Slow and steady is the message here with the Nine of Pentacles. I do love this deck. I always lament when there's no snail on it, but be that as it may, the snail usually represents a slow and steady pace to give you the independence, the autonomy, the sustainability that is all intrinsic to the Nine of Pentacles. So what does that mean? You're going to be okay. I see an abundance of opportunity coming through. You can do it on your own. This is one of the most fiercely independent cards that I've seen. The only challenge that happens with the Nine of Pentacles is sometimes we have to remember the lesson earlier. There may be partnership opportunities. So for you, being able to kind of ebb and flow and go between moments where you're going to work together and then you're going to work on your own. I think that's the sort of dance this month that you have to think about. But if you put your mind to something, the question is here is like, how can I, how can I be most productive? So you can be most productive by focusing on what matters and really tending to that. This is the focus message that I talked about earlier. So it's a little bit of an echoing or a parroting of what I said at the beginning, which was pick a path, put your energy into it, nurture it, and then see it all the way to the finish line, and it will be worth it, okay? And you can do this mostly on your own, but there is going to be areas where you have to kind of reach out and say, I need a little help here, I need a little insight here, I need an approval here, I might need some more time or money elsewhere. If you can kind of manage those moments, you can still kind of finish up whatever it is that you want to do mostly on your own. So I think that's the challenge for some of you, again, is just figuring out when and where you're able to open up to support, because it is coming through in a lot of different ways. We have the Ace of Cups, we have the Ring, and we also have the 10 of Cups here, okay? I think for you, it's almost sort of like you just have to feel like it was your idea and that you feel okay with receiving it. And I think if you can do that, it'll be all right. All right, so let's go ahead now and move on to, I think did we get through everything? That was fast. Let me take a look. Yeah, I think we did. We got through viewer's choice and reader's choice. So we're going to prep for the meditation next. The meditation is going to be a chance for us to kind of clear our heads, which is so important. And then at the very end, I'm going to answer that final card. So someone was asking earlier about a partner. You can ask at the end here. And if there's anyone else that has a question that wasn't yet answered, write it down, hold it, or tap it in your phone or something. We'll look at it in just a moment. Okay? So while you're doing that, let's get ready for the meditation. A couple of quick notes again. If you ever want to see my upcoming schedule, it's on my website. I pinned a link there on the comments so you can take a look at it there. Thank you to everybody that has hit subscribe and has liked the video. It helps. And social media, like I said, I'm going to be doing something special this week for the 1,000th upload that I've done. So I'll figure it out. It'll be an impromptu of some sort. And so follow me on social media. Click the bell icon too for notifications if you haven't. And thanks to everybody who's given back today. I appreciate you. Thanks to the existing members too. All right, let's get ready for the meditation now. I want to scan through all of these cards and see what's really calling to me the most. You know, I love the temperance sort of message here of patience, but I also love the ability to kind of like clear your mind. And I think that's the most important thing for you as I'm looking at the health card this month. So let's imagine that you're climbing up the 10 of Wands hill. So close your eyes for a moment, and I want you to imagine yourself, even if you don't like the outdoors or if there's inclement weather, this is important for the meditation. So just imagine that it's good weather, and because it's a meditation, this is easy. So see yourself maybe 3/4 of the way up of a mountain or a hill. You're at the point now where you would be needing to take a little break, to catch your breath, to cool off a little bit, and to motivate yourself. So you could be looking at there's still a decent stretch of this mountain to climb, or you could look over your shoulder and take a look at the world. And this is what I want you to do in this moment in time, is to sit down and to look at all of the twists and turns in your life's journey. Some of them have been exciting. Some of them have been challenging, to say the least. But all of them have brought you to this moment and to this vista, this view. From here, you see way beyond your path. We're really looking at the soul's hike here. So there's a lot of different people that are taking a different journey up the mountain. Some people have a lot more on their backs. You might see them with a really, really heavy load. You might see them alone. You might see them distracted by other people. You can actually see even the energies around them. You see that your path has been difficult, but you have blessings too. There's been blessings all along this path. And this kind of gives you a sense of lighter energy. You're heartened by this. And as you tune into the blessings in your life, the friends that you've had, the opportunities that have availed themselves to you, there starts to kind of be this voice that's calling to you from the mountaintop. It sounds like it could be a bird. It's something beautiful. There's a sort of musicality to it. And as you turn around, you also see this beautiful light. It's almost like the ancient Egyptian pyramids here, the mountaintop. There's this bright light and this beautiful sound, this music, this voice that's calling to you and saying, I've got your back. It's going to be okay. Wait until you get to the top. And so as we meditate today, that's what I want you to focus on. I'm just going to make a choice today and choose this crystal pyramid. It's been winning a lot, so I'm going to choose that because I don't want to disrupt the meditation. See the beautiful light, hear the voice, and allow yourself to be drawn to the top of the mountain. Take a moment as you get to the top of that mountain and look around and think, what's next? And what is this exciting moment that I've been building up to? What's presenting itself here? So some of you may get a sort of glimpse into what's on the horizon for you. And some of you may get a glimpse of what you want to do next. This is your time to clear your head, make a decision, sort out who am I and what do I want? And if you're having a hard time, don't focus on trying to see it, just feel it out. Just at the very least, allow your head to kind of be cleared and open. The answer may happen after this reading, all right? So relax, enjoy. I'm going to play this instrument, and then we'll come right back and look at your final card. Imagine that just like the crystal clarity of this pyramid, your mind is clear, your heart is clear, that you have an understanding now of what's next, or you just have an openness and a clarity that you didn't have before, trusting that when the moment is right, it will come to you. What will be, will be. Let's focus now on your final question that you have for me. Before you do that, though, let's bring you back into your body. Imagine that the light that surrounds you as you take this next deep breath comes back into your heart center. Rub your hands together. Seal that energy in place and create a mantra that's positive. Today's going to be easier. I'm going to figure things out. I'm ready to receive love and abundance in the highest forms. And now focus on the question that you have for me. Okay, so we got the Three of Pentacles coming through, which is a yes. It's a resounding and emphatic yes with an exclamation point. So the Three of Pentacles tells me that whatever it is that you're trying to complete, achieve, or see, it should happen. There is a sort of work that's part of this that sometimes gets missed. So the Three of Pentacles requires commitment. And it reminds you that validation is nice, but we learned our lesson here from the recent past, which is the optics don't matter so much as the quality of whatever it is that you're trying to accomplish or do. So I definitely see positive trajectory for many of you. Three of Pentacles can be acceptance, it can be acknowledgement, it can be completion, it can be graduation. It also has to do with, again, the quality of something. For those of you that have created something written, like a curriculum, a text, a recipe, a patent, something that's been put into writing, this makes it nice and concrete. This is good. This is a very nice card for that. And again, for those of you that might have started a course, study, whether it's college or specialty sort of certification, the Three of Pentacles is graduation. So just finish what you've started, because the energy around it is very promising, very optimistic. Okay? So I like what I see with that, and I think that more positive energy awaits you with respect to whatever it is that you've started. Nothing really negative with the Three of Pentacles. Okay? It's one of the few cards where I would say it's a yes, but you have to do the work. And if you do the work and if you do it right the first time, you're going to be amazed at what happens. If it's a relationship sort of question that you had, there's work to be done. And you might have been calling in, especially for those of you that were asking, when is someone going to come into my life, or when will someone come back? Well, the partner that you called in the past was probably more of a teacher than that sort of deep soul connection that you were looking for. And if you're waiting for someone, there's maybe a soul lesson that needs to be completed first. So work on yourself, and that will help you with the relationship energy. And really look at the relationship that you're asking about and see, is this a lesson that I want to repeat? Is this a sort of, because it's kind of like going back to school and doing the same thing. It should be graduating onto the next level. So that's what I'm seeing. It's more about a lesson than whatever it is that you're asking. Okay, so hopefully that makes sense for everybody. Good card no matter what. You'll be able to come out of this in a good space. All right. Last time, if you would like to follow me on social media, a couple of notes. My name is usually Nicholas Ashbaugh on social media, except for Twitter. That's the one exception. If anybody messages you and says, this is my new account or a second account, big red flag, that's not me. If they offer you something special or request something from you, not me either. I don't use direct messaging. This is how we connect on a YouTube, Instagram, or TikTok live, so you can see my mouth moving and know it's me. Anyone else is just sort of like an imposter, especially if they're offering a private reading. I don't do those anymore. All right, if you would like to show support, hit subscribe, like, and opt into notifications so that you can be kept up to date. More information on my website if you need it. And I want to say thanks. We're going to look at everyone who's given a super sticker or super chat, so now's a great time to do it if you haven't already. Let's start with just general gratitude. I want to say thank you to everybody who is either brand new or has been following me for a long time. That's what allows this channel to keep growing. That's what makes this fun. So thanks for showing up and keeping me company over this reading today. Hopefully you enjoyed what came through. I want to give some special thanks to those of you that just joined or rejoined. So let me take a look at some of the newest channel members, and we'll go from there to anybody that gave back with a super sticker or super chat today. So starting first with the members, let me get this set up here. All right, this is anybody that's joined in the last sort of 12 hours here, because I see some from yesterday. So it looks like Jen Pilot, and maybe that's it, because I see Padmaja, and I believe she joined yesterday. So I think it's Jen Pilot is our newest member. So welcome. And she's a Star Channel member as well. So thank you for going that extra mile. I appreciate it. All right, let's take a look now. And Maria will let me know if I missed anybody that just joined today, but I think that was the only one. All right, so for those that gave back with super stickers or super chat, give me just a moment here and I'm going to say thank you. Short list, so it should be easy today. We have Catalina Villanueva. Thank you so much for kicking things off today. Cackley as well. Thank you. Bonnie Kuparian. Let's see, I need my glasses for the last name on this one. Kuparian, I believe. And Ms. Moses as well. And I think we just got a couple of late ones here too. So there we go with Maria R. Thank you to everybody for making today special and for showing up. And yes, I see a question about autograph books. I don't do that because I just don't have the capability to send that out. But you can still purchase them from my website if you're interested. Okay, lots of love and light. I'll be back again later this week to look at Cancer and Leo. So Thursday and Friday, you can catch those. And then I'll be back on Sunday for a collective. And in between all of that, there should be an impromptu. All right, until I see you all again, thank you very much. Thanks to Maria as well for her help with moderating today. I hope you all have a great week ahead, a great month ahead as well. Lots of love and light to all of you. Take care. Okay, bye-bye.